Hi there, Vibe Gardeners. Welcome to another episode of Vibe Gardening Informed Edition, where we're going to talk about what is going on with my strawberries. Are they okay? With that said, let's go. Alright, so to give the audience here a little bit of my channel history, in that this is my third year gardening, it's my third year with strawberries, but it's my first year with a brand new crop here, and it's behaving very differently from I got the first time. Back 3 years ago when I first started gardening, I got myself a generic Bonnie's strawberry plant from my local Meijer grocery store, or department store, if you will. It's basically everything, right? And it didn't say what kind of strawberry it was. It literally just said strawberry. Very helpful, right? Because back then I didn't know there's different cultivars and different variants of strawberries, and I thought strawberries, gonna get myself some fruit, right? And from that point on, I kept the first year, and it flowered and produced fruit throughout the whole entire time that it could. And it tasted kind of bland, very blah. I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't do things quite properly. So the second year, it came back up again. I realized that these things were hardy enough to be able to survive winter here in Zone 6A in Michigan, Southeast Michigan. So I'm like, great, let's do this again. So I brought myself some all-purpose Miracle Grow in the beginning until it started flowering. Then I started giving it the tomato blend of Miracle Grow, giving it some nice potassium boost to try to get some more of that fruit production going on. But again, blah, like the flavor just wasn't there. And at the end of the spring, this summer season last year, if you guys remember, I had the cleanup episode. I literally just got rid of it. I'm like, this is such a pain because I find that essentially when they become ripe, squirrels get to it. The squirrels actually ended up enjoying more of my crop than I have. The end of the first season, I literally caught a squirrel red-handed, talking about the color of the strawberry pigment on its grubby little paws, or it's literally chewing on one, like very happy. I'm like, wow, those squirrels are having a lot more enjoyment from this crop than I am. So I got pretty disheartened and I threw them all away. And this year I went to Jacob's Fresh Farm at CSA. You'll link it right there below. I saw them selling these strawberry. I talked to the Anna, the Jacob's wife, and it's like, you know what? We really like the flavor of these things. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. So I got these. They are AC Wendy. I actually know the cultivar name this time, as opposed to the Bonnies, where I don't even know what they gave me. It's literally just strawberry. So this year, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do research on how to grow strawberries and actually try to make it work and find out what happened here. And yeah, so with that said, here we go. So first, let's talk about my research on what I found about these strawberries. So the one thing that I really discovered is that there's three main types of strawberries. There is June bearing, there is everbearing, and then there's day neutral. So what happened here is these AC Wendy, which is actually a Canadian variant, that these are what's called a June bearing, which means that they're the most productive of all the different variants of strawberry, but they only have one harvest, and that is late spring, which is June in this area. That's why the name June bearing. And then there's everbearing. Everbearing is two harvests per season, which will give you a late spring and a late summer, early fall harvest. And then you have day neutral, which is most likely what I got from the Bonnies at Meijer. And that is kind of that when the temperature is moderate, it's going to fruit and the flower and fruit. And so that basically explains quite a bit about what I saw. In that, with the day neutral ones I got from Meijer, I saw them basically flower and fruit during the whole continuous growing season of the plant. And it really made it feel easy for me. It's a very rewarding feeling. But what I did not realize is actually for beginners, the best kind you can have is like this AC Wendy here, which is a Juneberry. So bearing. So June bearing really is that what it does is that the first year. So this is actually the thing I'll show you in a minute. What I'm seeing here is that they basically are the easiest for beginner because of the predictability. But the thing that I wasn't aware of is that the first year when you grow this June bearing is that it does not actually have any fruiting the first year. What it does is it try to bulk up its biomass and then you try to throw out runners, or basically these vines that grow out and basically starts other strawberry plants, whether they are independent or I actually don't know if they're independent or they're connected, but they're at least connected enough that it's basically coming from one plant. And so this is what the big mix-up in that I thought I'm doing something wrong with this plant in that I saw no flower, no fruit, just nothing but runners. I mean, they looked healthy enough, right? That wasn't the problem. It also wasn't bulking up enough. So what I ended up doing was these little guys here, I took the runners and I basically planted some of the plants in there. And I planted it here, and I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty good setup right now, not knowing what I got myself into. So essentially, I set these up thinking that they're the same thing. Boy, did I not realize that there's three different type of strawberries. So this is what happened this year, and I essentially trimmed out all the runners, not realizing I'm actually keeping it from doing what it's supposed to do, which is basically build biomass through runners, trying to propagate itself. It's something that we should be doing for these strawberries, and I made a big mistake here. So we gotta fix that. So as promised, here's my AC Wendy. As you can see, this plant is very healthy. Everything about it is screaming health. As of just a day ago, I even pruned more of the runners, not realizing that's what it's actually supposed to do the first year. There's a little bit of this like spot here. I don't know if it's actually a disease or anything. It's a little bit like if you look at it here, it's like mild brown center with dark brown ring. I'll look up if it's a disease or not because I actually pruned a bunch of leaves, like a lot more of this, and it died. And so if we look in here, there has been sign, where is it? There's been sign right here, as you can see, or probably here as well, of damage from, what's called it, those Japanese beetles. This one right here, I basically took two pots and just crushed it, and there was only one on here. Well, it's gone for about 10 days. And yeah, everything is looking quite healthy. And as you can see here, this is a collection of the remaining dried runners I cut off. And yes, that is my mistake of basically getting rid of them. And here, if we go here, we will see that these are the different strawberry from the runners. This is one that's been here for a little while. It's already quite established. And it's developing quite the yeah, just I mean, it's looking quite healthy with the way it's been adjusting to its new pot. It's different soil and it's working quite well. These two are new as of 2 days ago, so they're just getting adjusted to it. I'm sure they're growing roots right now. As you can see, it's very. I'm not able to really nudge it, which means that the roots have basically established. So these guys will become quite productive once they get going. All right, so now you guys have seen a close-up of the strawberry plant. That should give you guys an idea of how healthy these guys are right now. They're actually quite healthy. It's just that I've not put it in the position it needs, that it's for expected success when it comes to next year. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to get it a raised bed. And I'm probably going to start with a 4 by 2 foot container, like a metal raised bed. As those are the most cost effective because I'm finding that I cannot be able to reliably create those cedar beds that I had a video on with that thumbnail to be able to compete with the price here, and I'm needing to expand my garden. I'm really debating on whether I want 1 or 2 foot, like a 1 or 1.5 foot tall raised bed. As one of the things I've learned from a lot of other channels is that Strawberry, especially these, are going to develop runners all throughout the whole entire life. And the runner can actually get strawberries to expand beyond where you want it to be. So to be able to give it a nice little wall on the side should help it from being able to reach out too far with their runners. And also another great advantage of that is it gives me more opportunity to build a shielding. So as I mentioned from the first 2 years, I've noticed that squirrel is becoming my biggest threat to being able to harvest my strawberry. As I've seen from a lot of other channels, bird is another pest that could potentially be robbing you of your harvest. So what I really need to do is I need to put up a kind of fencing that's going to be able to prevent the other animals from getting in. So if I give myself a better wall on the side, it's going to give me ability to get a better protection over the whole crop to prevent animals and birds from getting into there and be able to eat my strawberry. Another thing that reason why I want to get into the raised bed right away is that these things are designed to, I think the 3 gallon grow bag I have it in right now might be too small. These things are designed to grow runners and grow in their productivity basically right away. All the strawberry generally lifespan, I think it's 3 to 7 years, is what their general lifespan is. And so I'm expecting about 5 years from this guy. So it's basically around approximately the same timeline as a lupine in my what's called a DIY insert video I was talking about. So I'm going to basically try to maximize most of the first year to give it that growth it needs to establish for that first year. And the other thing I've noticed too is that mulching needs to be done thoughtfully and carefully with strawberry, in that it has a lot of disease pressure on the leaf that could happen. So I don't want to mulch it too much, but due to the predictability of the moisture that you get from mulch, I definitely want to mulch it. But at the same time, another thing that I want to be careful of is that when winter comes, I want to, of course, be able to give it more protection, kind of like the garlic we talked about, right? We want to give it more covering to be able to protect it from the cold of Michigan. That way, it's going to have the best chance of being able to make it, even though it's technically zone 4 through, I can't remember if it's like 6 or 7. So it's basically a hardy plant. And because Jacob is growing this, I'm highly suspecting this thing is definitely hardy. I mean, it's coming from Canada, right? It's a Canada variant, so a cultivar, so it absolutely would be able to survive this type of climate because Michigan obviously is going to be a little warmer than Canada, being a little bit more south from them. So I'm going to really do that. I'm going to still obviously still need to figure out what kind of bed I need. It's only mid-August right now, so I have time to get these guys prepared for the coming winter. And I'll update you guys more on when that happens. So yeah, I'll show you guys all the different steps I'm going to do to make sure these guys overwinter properly, get the space they need to get more established, and then to be able to get a more pest protecting barrier for these plants. So guys, this is how I'm going to take care of my strawberry this year. I hope that taught you guys a little something. If you guys have any more tips and growing techniques for strawberry, please leave your comments below and subscribe for more content like this, guys. All right. So keep gardening, keep vibing. Let's go.